All right, guys, what's up? I'm back again. It's your boy Naseem. And on this video, we're gonna stretch this video out a little bit. We're gonna talk about the scale. Yes, the scale in the bathroom, where yours should be if you have one. If you don't have one, let's get one. Pretty easy to find. Walmart or Amazon. Cheap, man. I suggest Amazon. But anyway, a lot of people avoid the scale. And they avoid it. They avoid it for many reasons. And people that do use it don't use it right. They don't use it correctly. All right. The way we use the scale, I get up in the morning, I release myself, I step on the scale, and I write my weight down. Okay, I write it down every day. I've been doing this for over a decade. I've gotten up, went to the bathroom, and stepped on the scale. Because this is what it is. Some people have some mental triggers while using the scale, and they cannot do it. Understandable. I've been there before. There have been times where I stopped using the scale for weeks and even months. However, you cannot fix anything in life if you do not have data. You need data to fix anything in life. This is not just working out. You need data, right? You can't, right? 0 times 0 is 0. You need data, my friend. So when I get up, when I do that every day for 7 days, and then I take the average weight. Your weight will fluctuate throughout the day and throughout the week. Probably within 1 to 2 pounds, 1 to 3 pounds if you're not doing anything crazy with your sodium and food. If you're keeping everything steady as far as eating consistently at the same times and pretty much the same type of foods every day, your weight's going to be stable. All right? So we want to do that. Because if you're not doing that, I can pretty much guarantee you 99.9% of the time that your weight will slowly creep up. And then the next time you get back on the scale, you will be up 10 pounds or more. And I'm telling you because I've done it many of times. There was a cut I did a couple years ago, and I thought I could take the scale out. I got tired of it. I was burned out, and I went back and I gained like 15, 20 pounds. I didn't even know it. That's how slow, that's how like minuscule putting on weight can be. You can't even realize it, man. Especially if you're used to being bigger and you've gotten small in a diet, you're not even gonna be able to tell, man. Especially if you don't like looking at yourself in the mirror. And I know a lot of us who started off a little bit bigger, sometimes we don't like to look at ourselves in the mirror when we wake up or whatever. So that can play games with your head. A lot of times I still don't look at myself in the, it's a habit, man. I come from a bigger background, so when I was bigger, I really didn't used to look at myself in the mirror with no shirt on. Very uncomfortable with that. Let alone going out somewhere and taking my shirt off, I would not look into the mirror. But I can do that now because I've been down there for so long, and I know the foods that work and the foods that don't work. I know how to eat consistently at the same times and the same types of food. So we must have that scale, guys, and if you're not using it, since we don't have any data, how do you know you're at maintenance? How do you know you're in deficit? You don't know. All right? Especially if you're a beginner, you don't know. You got to calculate these things. That's why they say use scales. Food scale too, not as important as your body weight scale, but I have a scale. I use my food scale sometimes, and I just know my calories because I've been eating the same foods for over 10 years, and I just know them by heart. All right. Even if I was to go to McDonald's, which I don't, but if I was to go to McDonald's, I know those by heart. Because you know what? I used to actually cheat with McDonald's when I first started. When I first started working out seriously, my coach would tell me to cheat with anything, and I would cheat with McDonald's, because that was like we all have our trigger foods from when we were younger, and most of us had like a family member that would always take us to this certain place, and for me it was McDonald's. So I always, when I first started doing all this dieting stuff, that was like my trigger place. I had to go there. IHOP and McDonald's. And when I went there, I just kind of picked out. It's kind of, most people were not trained how to eat correctly when they were young. So it can take a lot of years, a lot of time to figure out which foods don't trigger us, which foods that we do not need in the house, which foods that we need to stay away from, period. It can take a long time to know that, and not just know it, but actually internalize it and go by that new rule. It can take a long time, guys, even for me. So just keep at it. Tracking is everything. Data is everything. Like I said before, 0 times 0 equals 0. You gotta have something, guys. You gotta know if you're in maintenance, you gotta know if you're in deficit, and you have to know if you're in a surplus. If you don't know these things, you cannot make any changes with your food or your diet or your training. It's just not gonna make sense, all right? Chinese times Spanish does not equal English, all right? So plug everything in. There's also food apps that are out there. I think there's Nutrition X. I use Fat Secret. MyFitnessPal, I think you have to pay now or something like that. Most of them you can start off free. I use them for certain foods and certain situations. I use them as like on a situational basis. I don't need it like that because I've been doing it for so long, but I use it on a situational basis. If I need to know my average for a new fat loss phase or a new muscle building phase, I might use it just to see how many meals I'm doing and what those macros and calories are for that week and get my average or something like that. But I don't use it on a regular basis. But those are the 3 free apps that you can start using to start calculating your food. Remember, calculation and having a great body, calculation is everything, all right? Calculation and self-control. If you can master self-control and calculating everything, right? Math and science, having a nice body is all about science. If you can go ahead and handle that, manage that, you will have a great body someday. And if you do this consistently throughout the days, months, weeks, and years, you'll look awesome too one day. All right, I'm gonna leave you with that one. And I'm out here, guys.